All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give all honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achak Wadash. We say Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achak Wadash. And we give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. 2023, which is the hopeful year that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai fulfilled all the prophecies, and all the prophecies are fulfilled. In the times that we're living in. Let's jump right into it. This lesson is going to be called Christianity's L is a Gainsay. Christianity's L is a Gainsay. Okay. So I'm just going to jump right into the precepts because they say it. Because if Christianity was the truth and Yahweh Shem Yahshua has his name and his spirit resting there, guess what? This is what would come along with that. But we'll see if that matches Christianity or if that matches the Hebrew Israelites receiving their identity and receiving this truth back that the Lord has given back to us, okay? This is the book of Luke 21 and verse 15. It says, "For I will give you a mouth." So when we tell vocab and these other guys in the outside looking in that it's not of our own self, But these guys seem to think because they're so used to that. It's just like that. I forget the guy. He tried to buy the truth. You know, he tried to buy it because he thought it was a gimmick. He thought there was some kind of secret to it or something that he could purchase so he could go make money for himself. But this isn't that. This is not a fad that's coming in that's going to fade away. Just like vocab said, this is not a bell bottoms. All right. This is not a Afro Sheen, Soul Glow. This ain't the Soul Glow movement, okay? This is the real Soul Glow. Our souls are shining. That's why it says, "Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works." So this is a refreshing of a people. That's why it says, "Stir up your pure minds, though you once knew this." So this is not something that we're just doing on our own accord, okay? It's the power, it's the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua that keeps us motivated, keeps us going into lessons, keeps us understanding prophecy and watching the times. That's the Most High, because he says, he that waiteth at my gates. All right, so we're waiting because we would have to be the bridegroom, or not the bridegroom, but the brides, the maids, because we in a time of trimming our lamps. So when the Lord said there was a cry made, and it says they arose and they trimmed their lamps. So we arose out of what? Darkness, death, destruction. He that wandereth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So we arose now because that cry has been made. And what can we tell was the cry? If we saying there's a cry made, we have to say, where was that cry made from? It was made from Abba. Because what did it say John the Baptist was? A voice crying in the wilderness. Okay, so he came back in the reincarnation to cry in the modern day wilderness, which is Babylon the Great. All right. And he said he dwelt out there in the field. So this is like the liken unto that. And John came back as Abba. If you can accept that, those are to those that can accept that, the understanding of who Abba was. Abba Bivens, the high priest Abba Bivens. Okay. Coming back in the reincarnation to give us the truth, to turn our hearts back to the fathers and the fathers back to the children. All right. And let's read it one more time. It says, "For I will give you." That's why it says we have 100% truth, because the Most High is feeding us the 100% truth. We're not feeding ourselves. These guys are saying that they don't have enough 100% truth because they're not tapped in the spirit. If you pray, and the Lord, Yahweh said, "Pray anything in my name and the Father shall give to you." It says, "To the Father that giveth freely." If you want wisdom, faith, ask. So if we can ask for these things, how can we not have it? Because if we ask and have the spirit to ask, guess what? The Most High will make it happen. It might not be the way you think it'll happen, but the Most High will make it so if it's in his will. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." So what's going on, Christianity? What's happening? Because if you were the true representation of the Messiah and the true Christians, how are you losing? The one thing I can tell you is the truth is taking no losses. It made it seem like a loss because you had wayward souls, but when you're dealing with the stock of this truth, the meat, potatoes, the the goods, the meat and bones, because that's where you get that broth from. Okay, but the hard stock, the baseline of this truth is not taking a loss. Who are we? We are the children of Israel. How no one has disproved that. We fit the prophecies to a T. That's the mentality that we have today. We've been refreshed. Okay, and it says, which all your adversaries. So we are an adversary to Christianity, what you call the Hebrew Israelite gathering or the growth in the world has stepped. That's why Nate went outside to the church, which, we already spoke on that. That's not something that was too wise, especially, trespass, not even trespassing, but being so close to people that are in darkness, because guess what? They're old wine bottles. A lot of who's remaining in the church right now is just old ass people. That's it. Because the youngins have already fled, have migrated to some whatever belief. You got a lot of these women that are going into witchcraft and Wicca and all this other stuff. You got Jake just leaving the church because the women ain't there no more. Because the women are diving into all types of madness out here in the world, including some of these wayward groups in Israel. But, if they're learning of Yahweh Shem Shai and the Most High has mercy on them, then, I can't say nothing. All right. But the main thing is the church has an exodus that's in it. So if this was true, how is the adversaries winning? It has won any time. That's showing you, but you go into the truth of the Hebrew Israelite doctrine and the knowledge of it, it hasn't taken a loss, and it's concrete. It's something you can stand on, depend on, because it is the truth. We have facts, we have historical things, but at the end of the day, the spirit is what's really going to lead you to believe in this. It don't matter how many books somebody brings out in front of you, and these scoffers should show you, vocab should show you. He was in the Bible and still can't see it. And it says, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Now let's look at the word gainsay. The word there for gainsay.
Strong's G 471. Antipon.
And it says what? To speak against, gainsay. Let's go to the roots. It says what? Over against, opposite of, or opposite to, before, instead of, for what? And then let's go here. So the opposite of, and then to speak against. So the Lord is saying, if I'm rocking with you, there won't be nobody to be able to speak against you. And now how can we prove this? How can we back this statement up? Because there has to be precept upon precept, line upon line. Because Christian can't do this. Then what is it? What did the vocab call it? Hebrew hopscotch. But if he read the scriptures, he know that's how the Bible is read. It's not this straightforward. It's not a novel. Okay, it's a puzzle. Exodus 4, it's the greatest puzzle ever produced. And in the men are the pieces. The men have to remember themselves to complete the puzzle. It says Exodus 4:12. It's not just placing those puzzle pieces. Those puzzle pieces have to acknowledge that they're puzzle pieces. That's why it says he'll stir up our pure minds, though we once knew this, so we can remember ourselves and come out and set ourselves in our order. Exodus 4:12, it says, let's start at 11. And the Lord said unto him, who has made man's mouth? Or who hath made the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth. So who's with us right now? Because Yahweh said, I shall be with thee unto the ends of the earth. So we here now in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and getting taught and fed. He's taking over our mouth. That's why it says, take no thought what you shall say, in that very same hour it shall be given unto thee. When we go into these nobles, the Lord's going to condemn these Edomites. Who's really cursing out Esau? The Most High is, man, by way of his prophets. Who's airing out his dirty laundry? By way of his prophets. And then what's conspiracy? Conspiracy is Esau's dirty laundry. That's a part of his foreskin. So us revealing these things is in the spirit of the Lord, because the Lord is cursing Esau out. Just like we would when a prophet would go to Jake, Israelites in the ancient world, and curse them out and tell them, guess what? The Lord's finna put you in a bondage. He's going to take this, take that, do this, do that. That's what the prophets, because the Lord was speaking through the prophets. Now the Lord is speaking to Esau by way of the modern day prophets, the company of prophets, starting with the apostles and elders, man. And it says, and the Lord said unto him, verse 12, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And teach thee what thou shalt say. That's why we able to know the interiors of West Africa holds a lot of Israelites. Confusion of face, Cornelius, Daniel's the 12th chapter, 2nd Ezra 11 and 12. All these things that we have is through the inspiration to inspire, to breathe in, and to give us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for us to believe and to fulfill prophecy and to curse out Esau. That's why it says he made us prophets unto the nations, because the nations have to know what's getting ready to happen. They don't have to believe it, but they still have to know. And it says, and he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. So that's it on that. Let's get another precept real quick, and then we're gonna close out. It's not gonna be too long, because it's already evident, man. They're fighting a losing battle. That they're losing members, they're losing congregation. That's not the spirit of the Lord, because the Lord said that no one be able to speak against it if it is the truth. This is Acts 3 and verse 39. Salakia. This is Acts 3 and verse 24. It says, yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. See that? We're coming to the time. That's why the prophets are back speaking of these days, because they're living in it. Ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, this is what they look over. He's saying seed, covenant, father. Everybody ain't everybody's father. I'm talking about the immediate family. When you can't go up to some dude randomly and say, what's up, dad? He gonna look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not that boy's pappy. It ain't like that. Everybody knows that's how it goes down. But now we read this coming from directly from the Lord through the prophets, and it's now misconstrued. Oh, that means everybody. How's that mean everybody? Nobody just goes and claims a kid. Go grab somebody's kid and be like, this is my child, and ride off in the sunset. See how far you get. It ain't gonna fare out good for you, man. Okay? It's this talking to a certain, he said, read it again. Ye are the children, not the disciples. He didn't say you were the disciples of the prophets. No, ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall the kindreds of the earth be blessed. Because guess what? His seed is going to be, and you see in the fulfillment. The Lord didn't lie to Abraham. We're living Abraham's blessing right now. Why? Because the confusion of face. All the nations have been blessed, because guess what? There's going to be a seed that comes out of these nations. The Lord said he's going to spread us through the four corners of the planet Earth, through the four winds. So these nations are going to have Israelites that are in there. Just like we go into these nations and we bless them with our knowledge, our wisdom. We bless them with our charisma, our swagger. These are the things that they yearn unto. That's why you see, I forget the girl that beat Venus and Serena, one of the Williams sisters. She's Japanese and I think Jamaican or Haitian, one of the two. And why did she beat her? It wasn't a Japanese woman that beat the Williams sister. It was an Israelite wearing a different mask. and still had dark skin. Okay. And it says unto you first God. It says unto you first God, having raised up his son Yahushua, sent him to bless you in turning away every one of you from his iniquities. So he turned, man, call law. All right. So bottom line is Christianity has been gainsayed. Okay. So that's showing you right there that ain't the spirit, because the Lord said in Luke 21:15 that he will give you a mouth, then your adversaries, your opponents will not be able to speak against. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the blue letter. I have it pulled up right here. This is Luke 21:15. And let's read the Amplified. I will give you skillful words and wisdom which none of your opponents will be able to resist or refute, because they're just fighting it. They know it. That's why the vocab is hurt. And he said another pastor gone, because he wasn't a pastor. He's an Israelite first and foremost. Pastor second. And he decided to put his spirit first instead of putting his pocketbook and whatever yearning he had in the Christian faith. Because he's a Mashiach. He's a Mashiachim. He's a follower of the anointed. Okay. But he's following the Lord now in truth. As much truth that the Lord's given him. If he sticks around, we'll see. There's this New Living Translation. For I will give you the right words and such wisdom that none of your opponents will be able to reply or refute. All right. So that's it. Christianity's L's is a gainsay. Because if this is truth, and if it's from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord said, look, I ain't taking no losses, because I'm going to be there with you. That's why Yahweh said, when for mother and father forsake thee, I shall take thee up. So the Heavenly Father's right there, man. Very intimate, man. So Lord willing, I can go into that lesson another time. So hope this was an edifying lesson. I'm going to leave it here. And with that, I want to say, call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechak Wadash. Say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechak Wadash. Until the next time, I say Shalom, and more now than ever. And as always, keep faith. Shalom.